Welcome back to a whole new episode of the Babbles Nonsense podcast. I have Olivia back with me. We are in her studio. She just did my makeup. We are sharing one mic. This is so much fun, and we'll dive into that here in a minute. All right. We're back in Olivia's studio. Well, we never left.
Hello, I'm back.
Y'all, this is so much fun. We get to record in her studio. She just did my makeup, so that was fun.
So much fun.
We're gonna talk about that, but we're also gonna do a little catch-up week.
Cannot wait. We've got to catch up on everything that's happened in the past month since we recorded last. And then hopefully Jonna will share a picture of her makeover on the cover of this podcast.
Of course I will. We need a picture together because we don't have one other than the other night when we were at the Huntsville Mom Event, which we're going to talk about as well.
Absolutely. I'm also in gym clothes right now. So I was going to film this podcast live to go on my Instagram. I did not come prepared and I look like I've just been drenched in sweat. So
she does not. She looks gorgeous as always. But what you may hear, we're having to share a mic because one of the cords on the way over here decided it wasn't going to work. So we're literally almost mouth to mouth on this mic.
We're getting so close.
It would have totally worked for her Instagram live if we were doing this because it's hilarious. But yeah, so we're sharing one mic. We don't want to pass it back and forth because with the new equipment, you can hear every little rumble. So bear with us on this episode.
Yes. Okay, so let's just get into it, girlie.
So we recorded on Valentine's Day. That was the last time. Everyone loved it. Everyone loved our little segment of anonymous questions as if we were therapists or something.
Absolutely. I had no idea that posting anonymous question boxes on your Instagram would actually mess up your algorithm. So that went great for me. I got a lot of questions, and then for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I had 0 views. So that was cool. But you live and you learn. So this time we posted a non-anonymous question box.
But it will always remain anonymous. Me and Olivia will know, obviously, but we're not going to share who it is or anything like that on the podcast.
We'll never reveal your identity. You are safe with us. It's like an episode of Dumois, anonymous.
Oh, yeah. So since then, I did another episode with some boys. They're my friends. They're gentlemen at best. Y'all heard those last 2 episodes. And then I also did one with a sex toy, pure... Well, no, she doesn't work there anymore, but
she's a sex guru.
Yes, she's like a sex guru. She's not a sex therapist, but she should be. But that episode was wonderful. Y'all all love that as well. But I wanted to bring Olivia back on just to do catch up, also talk a little bit to a lady who is married, maybe me ask her some questions on how the same kind of questions I asked the guys on how she would deal with it if she was not married and in the dating world in 2023.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then at the end, we'll wrap up. We did get a few questions in the question box. So we'll wrap up by answering any viewer questions as we usually do, and maybe do some rapid fire Q&A kind of stuff. That's always fun.
So if I was more prepared for this podcast, I was going out. Well, my friend Kayla was going to come on because she's a single mom, and I wanted to have those same questions that we got asked to ask to a single mom in the dating world. But being a single mom, she didn't have time to come with working in school and then taking care of her child. But I had this questionnaire, and I don't have it with me right now, but it was, how toxic are you?
Ooh, okay.
Just a surprise quiz.
I feel like I try to be a very good person, but I feel like the most toxic little wifey. Greg probably hates me.
Doubtful.
But I feel like I have it made. He does cook and clean. He does wash the dishes and do the laundry.
Oh, wow.
And it's just literally amazing. Because I do work a lot and I do travel and I get stuck in traffic all the time. So he gets off a little earlier than me, and it is much easier for him to do kind of the housework around the house. So whenever I'm feeling really generous, I will just surprise him and hire a maid to come in and do some of the work that I should be at home doing but literally don't have time to do. But no, I feel like I do have it made. And sometimes when my friends are all complaining about their husbands slacking, I'm like, oh my gosh, I would love to pipe in right now, but I'm the toxic one here. Like, I am a child and Greg is like my father, basically. So love that for me. I would love to talk about toxic female male relationships because that's what I have experience in.
So more of the toxic femininity, masculinity.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So since we recorded, we went to an event that was last week, I think, the Huntsville Moms event. So if you do not know the Huntsville Mom, she'll be on the podcast in a couple of weeks. Well, the episode will be in a couple of weeks, but she basically is a mom that developed this Instagram account and goes around and tests things out for kids and families.
She's so good for tourism too.
Right.
Like in Huntsville, if you are making a trip to Huntsville or thinking about visiting, or you're just new to the area, if you follow the Huntsville Mom on Instagram, you can find really cool restaurant recommendations and fun things to do with your family, whether they're free or whether there's like a small admission fee. She's so good about hyping up small businesses locally and really just bringing like sharing the wealth in Huntsville, basically, like helping every small business succeed. And she goes around and makes friends and networks with all the people in Huntsville that are trying to make Huntsville great. So if you want to be plugged in to all the Huntsville happenings, the Huntsville Mom is an amazing account to follow. I know the event that we went to was also in cooperation with the Madison Mom, or
a collaboration.
Is it Madison?
Collaboration?
Yeah, collaboration. Yeah. Is it the Madison Mom?
Yeah.
Yes. So you can follow the Madison Mom if you would like to see all the things there are to do in Madison, and the Huntsville Mom for everything to do in Huntsville. They had their first anniversary of their accounts, and it was like an anniversary party at Stella's Elixir Lounge in Huntsville. We had the best time. Jonna can tell you a little bit more about that because she had a fantastic time.
So first of all, I drank a little too much. If you've listened to this podcast long enough, y'all know I have social anxiety. I developed this podcast so that I could get rid of my social anxiety. And y'all, drinking too much to me does not have to be. It's like literally 3 cocktails and it's too much for me.
I'm dead. And there was no one there that would judge you, like, promise. But you guys, for reference, everyone knows if Olivia says like, yeah, I'm gonna be there at 6:00, I'm going to be there at 7:15 every
I did not
time.
know that.
Yes, Jonna, poor sweet Jonna, she got completely dressed and ready and she was like, okay, I'm here at 6:00. And I was like, I'm still doing my live on Instagram. I have not left my house yet. I will see you in an hour. So by the time I arrived, like I was completely sober and Jonna was probably on like margarita number 3. So I was like, I was way behind Jonna, like light years behind. And she was
not
like,
a fun time for me.
I know.
I'm just kidding. It was
very fun.
It was fun.
And you knew everyone there. So even the people that I didn't know, Jonna was like, hi, this is my friend Olivia, like introducing me, hyping me up. Like Jonna is a great hype girl. She's like a total girl's girl. I feel like we both are. And that's why we work. Like we're going to hype up our friend group. Like when you're not in the room, we're going to hype you up and like introduce you to people. And like we all want to be together at the top. There's room for everyone. And like that is, I just want to brag on Jonna because she made me feel so comfortable. And like she has social anxiety. I do too. Like I don't live in Huntsville. I actually just work there almost every day. But I live in Decatur, so driving into Huntsville and going to a Huntsville event, sometimes I don't know everyone, and Jonna just made me feel really comfortable and taken care of.
That was only because I was on drink 3, because otherwise I wouldn't have done that.
You were great. You hyped me up, and I met so many kind people, and I don't know, should we like... Who did you meet that you had wanted to meet for a long time?
So actually, I've never met the Huntsville Mom or the Madison Mom, and I wanted to meet them, and I wanted them on the podcast. Yes. It was a great event for me to go to so that I could
to proposition
them, people,
corner them, and be like, if you're not on the podcast.
But no, I actually got to like have a conversation with her and how she started it, which I won't reveal too much because I want that to be on the episode
for sure.
But
she was so nice.
It was really cool, like her backstory.
Yeah, and I was so nervous too, like. I don't know, like local celebrities, it's a thing, you guys.
First of all, you're a local celebrity.
I am not. Huntsville is actually, outgrowing Birmingham, which is where I went to college and it was the biggest city in Alabama at the time. Now Huntsville is outgrowing Birmingham like exponentially. So, I mean, I don't know, being in a room with so many of like Huntsville's like coolest people, I felt so uncool. But I felt like everyone I was in the presence with, I was like, oh my gosh, I was starstruck.
And this talks about the event. It's kind of a sidebar.
Mm-hmm.
How old does a cougar have to be?
Oh my. I feel like a cougar's 45.
Okay, so I got hit on at the event. Did you know this?
I didn't know there was a male there. Or was it? Oh, no.
He was 22.
Oh, wait. I thought you were going to say it was a girl.
No.
Oh, my gosh.
No. He was 22.
Okay.
I said, honey, I will be 36 this year. And he said,
No.
what? And I said, that's gorgeous
my
over here.
esthetician. I would like to thank my agent, my
makeup
plastic
artist,
surgeon,
my
my
plastic
makeup
surgeon.
artist. I would like to thank my entire aesthetic team.
So I literally
for
was
getting
driving
him.
home and I was like, so I'm literally almost
No,
13, 14 years older than him. Does that make me a
you feel
cougar?
amazing?
Does that make me a cougar though?
Like for him, yeah. Like for his age.
So in that situation,
that's like
just because I'm not 45.
No, yeah, but that's like I would say over 10 years. Like my brother-in-law's 11 years older than my sister. And even though he's a male, like I still consider that like she knew she was going for an older man. Like,
But that's different because
she wanted that wisdom and like that.
Women are more
experience.
mature. Let's be real. A 22-year-old's not about
For
to
sure.
like
No,
have a relationship
so
with
say
me.
He's 22. I know like when I was 22, like the person I was with was like mentally just high school. Okay.
Right.
So the fact that basically a high school fetus hit on you, like you should really be like milking that for all it's worth. And honestly, like if I had have known, I would have bought you a drink.
Well, I bought his drink because that's my move.
What? Shauna.
I bought like 4
you
people I
cannot be
drank at the
buying
bar.
babies drinks.
He's of age, first of all. And second
It's
of all,
his job.
he was
You-
waiting longer than me at the bar and she came and served me because most women do get served
Yeah.
before a man. So I said, how long have you been waiting? And he was like, forever. And I said, what do you want? And I just bought him a drink and he was like, thanks.
Okay, he totally should have bought you the drink. That would have
Nah.
opened up the conversation.
It was fine because it wasn't going to go
Oh my
anywhere
gosh.
anyways. He
Oh
was
my
22.
gosh.
He was very attractive.
I am all about getting a free drink at a bar. Like I will just say, and Greg is very supportive of this. He is like, hey, as long as I don't have to pay for it, do whatever you got to do. So without being like, I don't know, I don't want to be like one of those girls that like leads guys on and just makes them feel like trash. But I will go up and make friends with men occasionally at the bar and turn my ring
and back to the
around.
quiz of how toxic are you?
Exactly. And I'm like, so like, oh my gosh. No, this is what you got to do. You got to go up to the bar and be like, oh my gosh, you know who you look like? This is actually how I got kidnapped one time. But that is another story.
You got kidnapped
Twice. So I've only been taken twice. But if you go up to the bar and you like had a few drinks and then like sometimes like your vision is like a little tricky. But I always try to find someone that like if I'm trying to get a drink from someone, I'll just be like, okay, he looks semi in the range of, you know, Chance the Rapper or something. And so before I was like, oh my gosh, has anyone ever told you you look like, and then name a celebrity, and that will kick off the conversation. They'll either be like, oh my gosh, I get that all the time, or like, okay, this girl is like for sure drunk, because I've never gotten that in my life. Like I'm pretty sure the guy I said this to looked nothing like Chance the Rapper, but he was like, oh my gosh, she thinks I look like a celebrity, like let's keep this conversation going. And then he would buy me a drink and I'd just be like, yeah, and so my favorite songs are this and this, and like we're just talking surface level stuff, okay? And then all of a sudden you just pull the, I really have to pee and I'm so sorry, but it was so nice to meet you, Chance. You always have to call them by their celebrity name. So then you're like, it's so nice to meet you, Chance. I promise I'll be right back. I'm just going to go pee real quick. Then I go find Greg. He's like, oh, you got another drink. I'm like, yeah, don't worry. I didn't use your car. And like, you're fine. So then like no harm done. I didn't like cheat on my husband or anything, but I got a free drink. I met a celebrity basically. And you always have to get photo proof. Like in my past experience, if you come right in and tell someone you look like a celebrity and you just are like talking to this random man, you do need photographic like evidence of what their face looks like, because when you wake up the next day, or like if you get taken or something, you need to have that, like the police can go through your phone and your iCloud and they can see like, oh, that is what this man looks like. Because if your only descriptor is like, well, when I was a little drunk, he looked just like Chance the Rapper, they're like, okay, we're starting from zero here. So always take a picture, like get a selfie, take a picture, be like, oh my gosh, I have to tell my cousin that I met Chance the Rapper. You look just like him. So take a little pic just in case he decides to follow you to the bathroom and then like literally take you.
Okay, is that how you got taken?
That's how I got taken. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was in Birmingham 2 years ago at a very fancy bar. It's called the Collins in Birmingham, and they're like a cocktail mixologist bar. And so I was sitting next to Greg, and the guy to the left of me was wearing a very fancy suit. He was probably like 35, and at the time I was like 27, maybe 26. And I was like, oh my gosh, you look just like Chance the Rapper. Has anyone ever told you that?
Why is everybody Chance the Rapper?
He said, oh, everyone tells me that. Like he was super like into that. And so some people will just be like so humble, like, oh, thank you. No, this guy was like, yeah, I get that all the time. Like basically I'm Chance the Rapper. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like we have to get a picture together. Okay, so Greg's sitting like directly next to me. I do have on a wedding ring, so you would think like he would have just stopped, like got a picture with me, whatever. So he's asking me like, are you from here? And I'm like, yeah, I lived here for a while, but I don't live here anymore. I'm just visiting for the weekend. And at the time, Greg looks over and he's like, hey, I have to pee. I'll be right back. Like, don't leave the bar. So I'm sitting on a bar stool and Greg goes to pee. And the guy starts asking questions like, who was that? Was that your husband? What car are you driving? Like, when are you planning on leaving, or where are you staying here? Just asking questions.
I hope you did not answer him.
I mean, I made stuff up. Okay. When I get a little tipsy, I'm like pretty good at like just pulling crap out my ass. So anyways, I tell this man that, that yes, that was my husband. He would be right back because I was getting a little creeped out. And then Greg like stayed gone forever. And like every story that I have about me being either taken or almost taken consists of like, Greg leaves me for 5 seconds to go poop, and it turns into a 45-minute event where I get taken. So at this point he says, I gotta go pee. And then he leaves. And like 20 minutes later, he still has not came back from the bathroom. So it's up to me to save myself at this point from Chance the Rapper. And so Chance, by the way, is like, which I've never seen Chance the Rapper in person, obviously, but this man next to me was maybe like 5'7", so just a little bit taller than me. But then on his left, like on the other side of him that I wasn't sitting on, he had a bodyguard, like huge man, like Greg, basically. So this man was also dressed in a suit and was watching over this little man that was talking to me.
This little man.
So Greg goes to pee, and this guy's asked me all these questions, and I'm like, you know what? Thank you so much for the drink. Like he had brought me a drink. I was like, I've really got to go pee. So I stand up from the bar stool that Greg said not to leave, and I start going to the bathroom. So I walk back to, if you've ever been to the Collins in Birmingham, the bathroom's at the very back of the little bar. Like it's almost like a speakeasy. It's very nice. It's not like a janky college bar. So I'm like walking past all these women in like dresses and men in suits, and I go into the bathroom, and the man pushed his way into the women's bathroom with me. It was a one-holer. So the man like comes in behind me and locks the door. And I'm frozen for a sec. And I'm like, I promise I just have to pee. Could you maybe face the wall? Like, I don't know what to say at this point. I don't know why he's followed me in here, but in my head, I'm thinking like, I'm for sure going to get raped. So I just keep telling the man like, you know what? I can hold it. I don't have to pee anymore. I changed my mind. So I like try to leave the bathroom, like try to get behind him or like try to get in front of him to get to the door. And I walk out of the bathroom, and he's like very, very close. Like he went into the women's bathroom with me, And then I wouldn't pull down my pants because I was so scared. So I was just like, what do I do? So I'm like, oh my gosh, I changed my mind and I think I left my wallet at the table. So I start to leave the restroom and the bar was like shoulder to shoulder. So we're walking back through the bar to try to get up to where the bar stools were. And I feel something like on my back. And so I turn around to look for Greg to see if maybe he's walking back from the bathroom. And this man, I have on jeans, like high-waisted jeans. So the jeans hit like, right at my back. And he had put his fingers through the belt loop and was pushing, like guiding me on where to go. So I turned to stop at my little bar stool where I'm supposed to be waiting for Greg. And he pushes me and bends down and says, keep walking. And I am like scared to death.
You're probably terrified.
I was like, I'm actively being taken right now. This is how it feels. And where is my Liam Neeson? So he puts his like fingers through my belt loop and looks like we're together. Like I'm in a cute dress. He's in a suit and he is like guiding my back through this belt loop out the door. And he's like, yeah, I told you I had a really fancy car. Didn't you want to come see it? And I'm like, no, I should really wait on my husband. I really need to go get to my husband. Please let me go. I need to go get to my husband while he's pushing me out the door. So we make it outside and there is like a Subaru parked on the curb with his bodyguard in the driver's seat. Like they are
Subaru?
100%. Yes.
Oh, who needs
like
a bodyguard with a Subaru?
This is like one of those cars that you like go camping in.
Right.
Like it had a little roof, like it had a roof rack.
That's insane.
So his Lamborghini he told me that he had was a Subaru. And so I see it and I'm like, oh man, once I get in this car, I'm never going to see Greg ever again. Why the frick does his bowels have to act up during the most opportune moments? So like he's still taking a poop and I'm getting abducted. So thank God there was a bouncer at the Collins that waits in front of the door. And like the whole storefront of the bar is glass. So the bouncer sees me. I acted like I was like, terrified. I guess like too drunk. So I'm telling this guy like, please don't take me. And he's still pushing me out the door to the Subaru parked at the curb. And the bouncer's watching. And when he opens the door and says, get in the car, all I can think of is like act, like play dead or like dead weight to the ground.
Like fall to the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. So I fell to the ground to act like I don't want him to shoot me. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not getting in that car. So I just dead weight, like fall directly to the ground. And I can see the bouncer walking over to see like if he needs like to help me. And then all of a sudden Greg like busts through the door to the bar, comes out to the Subaru, and the guy leaves me on the ground and gets in the driver's seat and says, go, go, go. And Greg is screaming, that's my wife. That's my wife. Don't you touch my effing wife. Like it was the scariest moment. Like I was literally left on the curb. Had Greg not came out, like the bouncer got the license tag, like the plate number and everything. Had Greg not came out at the time that he did, that man was going to try to pick me up and put me in the backseat of his car.
That is insane.
So
Olivia.
scary. I woke up the next morning and Greg's like, should we file a police report? And I'm like, I think we should. And the manager of the bar said that sex trafficking happens at that bar all the time, which is crazy because it was a really nice, like mixology craft cocktails, crazy, really nice, like 1920s themed bar in downtown Birmingham. So we're like, well, we don't have any proof or anything, whatever. I look back on my iPhone the next morning and I have a picture of this man that I thought at the time looked like Chance the Rapper. And when I just say he was like maybe Kevin Hart, maybe mixed with Austin Powers. I don't even know. Like Jonna.
So this is why we buy our own drinks, Olivia.
Man.
You said you'll do anything for a free drink? I will not.
Girly.
I will pay for my drinks. Thank you.
It was the scariest moment of my life. And then the unvalidation that I got the next morning of like, man, I really freaking need glasses because the fact that I thought this guy was like semi even like in the realm of a celebrity looking, was just laughable. And I should have known, like, he has a bodyguard standing next to him. Like, obviously they're running some type of game. Like,
right,
yeah.
right. So they were doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
Like,
so
and how many people had he done that to before you?
That's what I was wondering. And like the bartender said that she had seen them in there before. So I'm just like, how, like, if this happens, I don't know. I don't go back to downtown Birmingham because like I'm seriously scared.
You said that was your one of 2 times you were almost taken. So
the other time I was taken.
You were actually taken?
Yeah,
so, okay, tell us that story now.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I hate talking about like times that I get drunk because I don't live that lifestyle anymore. Like, this was in college. Okay. Like like this, I was about to graduate. So, I was in a sorority in college, and me and my big sister were so close. We were like besties, and we did everything together. And I did not drink, fun fact, until I was 21.
Me too.
Like, I literally thought
I was
like,
always the DD.
Jesus was going to come back and I was going to go straight to hell if I took a sip of like wine or alcohol or anything. So after my 21st birthday, it was like, whoa, like I can finally drink. So this particular night, I had went out to the one bar in Troy at the time. It's called the Front Porch. And there was a lot of girls there. Like, there's way more girls at Troy than there are guys, just because, I don't know, like all the Greek girls would go out to this bar and there wasn't very many guys there. So this particular night, there was a bachelor party going on, and my big sister was like, these guys will buy us free drinks. Like, there's like 10 guys. They all came together in a limo. So she said that if we told them we were like older, like 27-ish, because these guys were like in their 30s maybe, and if we had told them we were like a little older and not like college girls, they would buy us drinks and stuff. So they bought us a few drinks, and then they kind of left us alone. So we were doing fine. We were just dancing with ourselves, like hanging around the pool tables, whatever. And we get ready to leave, and we're going to call an Uber to take us back to the sorority house. And these bachelor guest people, these men, it was like 10 of them. One of them had told us he was 32. Another one had said he was like 33. So that age range. And we were literally 21. So they offer us a ride. They're like, we have a limo. We're literally leaving. We'll have the driver drop you guys off at your sorority house, which was, by the way, a 1-minute drive. I'm talking like a few blocks from the house. So it's not like we were asking them to take us around the universe. Like, this was a super close drive. So within like 3 minutes in, we were like, okay, they just passed Sorority Hill. Like, we're still in the car. So we were like, hey, you missed it, turn around. They like rolled the little partition up so we couldn't talk to the driver. And these men were like, again, they're all like 11, 12 years older than us. They're drunk off their rocker, and they have like full intentions of like keeping us in the car. And so we were like, can you just drop us off, please? And they said, you're our entertainment for the night. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, I first off, I don't dance. I could have done nothing for them at this point. So we, I don't know. This was just,
how did you get out of the limo?
I don't know, but they gave us, they were driving us. They were like, we're going to take the long way around. Since we've got the limo for an extra hour, we're going to take the long way and we'll just drop you back off at the sorority house.
Also, you told them you were 27 and they didn't find that weird to go to the sorority house?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they were that drunk. They didn't even find that.
I think they
weird.
were just stupid. So, like, because I did not look, I looked like a baby.
You still look like a baby.
Stop. I love you for that so much. But no, at this point, I literally looked 12, and she looked super young too. So
it was just y'all two. I thought it was all the sorority girls.
Just me and her.
Oh.
And about 8 bachelor guys. for this bachelorette
Olivia,
party.
I'm going to need you to do better.
I'm
I'm just kidding. You were in college.
I've gotten better, I thought. And then this other incident in Birmingham only happened 2 years ago. So
It's just because you're so
I thought I was
cute and
getting
petite.
better.
You're easy to
I'm
pick up
just
and swoop away.
really nice to people and don't realize when I'm being like trafficked, if that makes sense. So especially, yeah, that was bad. So like the whole time they're like, we've got the limo for 1 more hour. And we're like, okay, maybe he'll just drop us off. They had like an open bar in the back of the limo. So they were just saying like, here's more Fireball. Here's more Fireball. Take more Fireball. Drink more Fireball. And we're thinking like, okay, they said they're going to drop us off. We live like right there, like 2 blocks away. So we end up falling asleep in the back of the limo. And when we wake up, we are in a log cabin. We don't have our phones. The guys took the phones.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So her mom, she actually lived in Troy. We were just saying like, drop us off at the sorority house because we didn't want them to have her address. So her mom's expecting us. Her dad's expecting us. The sorority is looking for us. Like, we have been taken. We are in a log cabin with taxidermy of every kind. I'm like, this is like some deep south, just messed up, like stuffed mountain lions, a real lion. Like I got a picture with the stuffed lion that they had shot on safari. So these people had went to the groom's hunting, I guess, lodge, hunting club for the bachelor party. Then they drove into Troy for the bar and then drank the whole way back. But they just took us with them. So we wake up, we're in this log cabin. They had just sat us on a couch together. We're still fully clothed, like, thank God. But we had no recollection of like how we got there or where we were. So we wake up, the guys are still, it's probably 3 a.m. and they're still like partying hard. So we go find a bathroom and lock ourselves in and just fall asleep in the bathroom until silence, like until all the men fell asleep. That way we didn't risk them touching us or anything. So we're like asleep in the bathroom. We unlock the door. We had to go through, it was probably like a huge cabiny lodge kind of thing. So we go through the bedrooms and all the guys are like, we could have played like instruments in there. They would have not woke up. So we went through all of their duffel bags until we found our 2 cell phones. And of course we didn't have any service there and we were on like 1% battery. So we're like, we have no idea where we are. We have no communication with the outside world. We don't know what these men, did prior to us locking ourselves into the bathroom. And how are we going to get back? Like, how do we get help? So we found our shoes. We got our phones that were about dead. Like, we had no service. Even trying to pull up Google, like, made it die faster. So we left the cabin and we realized that we were at a hunting camp because there was a huge, like, really nice stone fire pit in the middle of this like cul-de-sac of like 5 huge lodges. So we walked house to house to try to find anyone with their lights on or anyone that was like awake. It's about 5 a.m. at this point. And one of the houses had a truck parked in the driveway with Sigma Chi sticker on the back of the truck. And Caitlin's big brother was the president of Sigma Chi. So they all knew who we were. So we were like, oh my gosh, it had a Troy tag, like a Troy license plate for free parking on campus. And then it also had a Sigma Chi sticker on the back. So we were like, surely we will know who this person is when we get inside. So we rang the doorbell like 1,000,000 times. We knocked on the door. It was the sweetest man. His name was Neil. I say man, he was like a boy then. So it was a guy named Neil. He was a sophomore at Troy. And so he was a little younger than us. And he was like, oh my gosh, Caitlin, Olivia, like, what are you doing out here? It's like the middle of the night. And like, we were in heels. I mean, we had on little dresses. Like, we were in our going out clothes with our hair and makeup done and our lashes hanging off. And this guy is like, oh my gosh, do you even know where you are? And we're like, no, we literally got taken last night and we slept through the night in a bathroom, like with the door locked, because those guys took us here when we asked them to drive us home. And he was like, well, you are in Grady, Alabama.
Oh my God.
And we are a 2.5 hour drive from Troy. So he literally said, let me get my boots. Let me tell my dad. He was there on a trip with his dad and his grandpa. He told them, I'm going to take these girls back, like literally be our hero. So he got his boots on and I sat in the back seat. Caitlin sat in the front seat. He let us charge our phones so that we could contact her parents and like let them know where we were. It was the scariest night until
Shouts
the
out to
Birmingham.
Neil.
Yeah. Shout out to Neil. He's freaking amazing. I will never forget him because he literally saved us. I could not believe.
But let's just talk about the fact
2.5 hours.
that man was about to get married to someone.
Yes.
So like how, that's just, okay.
And was out trying to find, girls younger than him at the bar and take them
Clearly
as entertainment, quote unquote, back to his hunting camp. So I don't know. The fact that they thought like, I don't know. We don't know who they are to this day, but the fact that they thought that they could take us over 2 hours from our, like where we asked them to drop us off and that they had no fear of getting arrested or like getting a lawsuit. I mean, we didn't have their names and we weren't going to stick around to find out. We were just only concerned about getting out of there.
Well, of course, like that's scary as hell.
Yes. But I'm like, someone out there remembers this night and knows what they did.
They may not remember it though.
That is true.
They may have been so into, not that that makes it right or not, but they may been blacked out, belligerent, drunk, but that's not the point either. But
I will never forget it.
Obviously.
And now looking back, like when people ask me like, when are you having kids? I'm like,
never.
That's hilarious because I just know like if my parents knew the story, they would like roll over. I say roll over in their grave. They're not dead, but like they would crucify me. But just thinking like if I had a kid and like she didn't have her phone charged and she got literally kidnapped at a bar and they let her pass out in a limo and did no telling what. Like I don't think anything happened. I truly don't. But the fact that like they drove us that far out and we wouldn't have had, they could have left us there. We would have no contact with the outside world. So I just want to
That's insane.
Thank God that we found a truck that we recognized, that they answered the door, that the dad was like, the dad was even like, do you need me to go get these guys? And we were just like, oh my gosh, these people are precious. But they drove us back to campus. We never spoke of it again. Like all the sorority girls ended up finding out like, oh my gosh, like, did you hear about Caitlin and Olivia getting literally kidnapped? Like how stupid. And we felt
it makes for
so
a good story
stupid.
now, but not then.
Yes, not then. Like back then I was so scared. Like I didn't know if I needed to go get like a rape test or anything like that. But I honestly, like I didn't think, I don't know. If you're a girl, you can feel it. And like, I did not feel as though I had been violated. So, that was the story of the time I actually did get taken. That is
absolutely insane.
That was scary.
Now, we don't have a lot of more time, so we'll do your questions for the people
sweet.
I know you posted a Q&A box, so I know that some people wanted, so do you want to pull up your Q&A box and we'll do your questions?
And guys, I'm a talker. I'm so
that's fine.
Sorry. I just have some hilarious stories. Like
they make for great content.
I could go on and on about the freaking weird stories that I have. So we had a few people ask just about like mostly makeup stuff. Okay, so this is a new one. How do you feel about biologique research?
Don't even ask me because I pronounce everything wrong.
This is a European medical grade skincare brand. So very, very expensive. Like even their toner, which is essentially like toners are not, they evaporate in the air. They don't stay on your skin very long. So they're not meant to be very expensive. So even their toner is like 200 something. I mean, it's insane.
Good God.
So the rumor has it, if you listen to Dumois, that's DEUXMOI on Instagram. She also has a podcast. It is essentially Celebrity Gossip Girl. And people that work with celebrities, whether it's hair or makeup artists, producers, their managers, their stylists, they will write in little tips about, celebrity stuff that is like top secret or whatever. So Kylie Jenner has been outed recently for having her team, like her team that she hires to travel with her. She flies people to London to buy BYEEE research so that she doesn't get seen or spotted buying it in the US because
she has her own skincare line.
Yes. So she does not use Kylie Skin. And so the word on the street is that she just did a Vogue. You know how they have like the Vogue 73 questions, and then they also do the Vogue Beauty Secrets where they film in front of the mirror and it's like their morning routine, and they do skin and then their makeup routine. So she just filmed with them recently, according to Dumois, and people are just itching to find out if she's going to tell the truth about what products she usually like uses every day, or if she's going to tell that, like, you know, I use the good stuff. Because we know if your skin looks like a Kardashian, you're not using drugstore skincare. I'm sorry. You're using medical grade stuff you can only buy at doctor's offices. And this one in particular, you can only get in, like, I mean, you can get it in America, but it's like big cities. Like, I don't even think Birmingham in Alabama.
Probably not. I'd probably think New York, LA, Atlanta.
You can get it, yes, those places, but there's nowhere in Alabama that I think even carries this line. It's so like expensive and just would be out of everyone's price range. I do know that their ingredients are amazing. I follow a lot of cosmetic chemists on Instagram and they all rave about it. So I know if it was more popular in the States and the price wasn't, you know, triple all of our really expensive medical grade products, people would probably buy it more often. I would probably, if you are stateside, which the person that asks is, she lives in California, you can probably buy BYEEE research out there. But if you're going to spend money, I would want to get the most for my money. So instead of spending like $250 on a toner, maybe you could get a whole entire product line of like Skin Better Science or Revision Skincare. Those are two of my favorites. Skin Medica. There's plenty of options there that you could get 5 or 6 products for that price.
Right, I agree. I don't know anything about this product because I don't use it.
Yeah.
And I'm not up to anything.
It's only on the
that.
front of people's minds right now. Like, their marketing is like pitiful. I mean, it's the most boring packaging, just like straight up, straight acids basically go on your face. Acids, retinol.
I just like do what you say. Retinol,
and it's not.
Tretinoin at night, Aquaphor on the lips, go to bed, and I don't spend $200 on a toner.
Exactly. Do not splurge on your toners.
And hey, if you listened to earlier this podcast, a 22-year-old hit on me, so maybe you don't need $250.
Exactly. You just need a good retinol, girly. So save your money on BYEEE research unless you just have dollars to splurge. And then I would recommend their P50 toner. And that's that on that. Someone else asked for bridal tips. And the person that asked is an esthetician. It is not Ashley, so I'll leave you guessing. But she asked for bridal tips, and I'm guessing that's for like skin and makeup. I always send out to my brides a timeline that starts about 6 months before the wedding. And I'm like, this is what you should do starting 6 months out leading up into your wedding day. So I recommend like 6 months out, you would start getting, try out Botox for the first time, especially if you were a summer bride. Botox will kind of deactivate your sweat glands. So anywhere you get Botox in your face, the sweat glands there will not work for the duration of the time that the Botox is active. So it's wonderful to get like a lip flip before your wedding if you're in the summer. That way your upper lip doesn't sweat. If you don't want your forehead to sweat, you can even get a few like baby units of Botox for your husband or like your fiance leading up to the wedding in your forehead. And that will prevent him from being a sweaty mess on the wedding day. I also recommend starting a facial regimen, and whether it's a hydrofacial or like a custom facial, go see a medical esthetician or an esthetician with, years of experience under their belt, and get on a program with them to where you see them every 6 to 8 weeks. So maybe leading up to your wedding, if you can't afford to see your skin girl as often because you get your nails done or you get eyelash extensions or your brows laminated, now is the time to cut back on all of the wants and put your money towards the quote unquote needs. No one needs skincare, but I'm telling you, if your wedding day, if you don't like the way your face looks on your wedding day, you will never share your wedding photos, and it's going to be such a waste.
Would you recommend dermaplaning for sure? Because I did that last night prior to you doing my makeup today.
Do that. I always recommend dermaplaning. If you're doing any hair removal, I tell people whether it's like lasering, waxing, threading, dermaplaning, do it about 3 days before so that your makeup doesn't just slide right off, because your canvas is going to be so like smooth that it's just going to slide everywhere. So give it like 3 days.
I did it last night.
No, your face looks amazing.
Okay. I did it last night.
Y'all don't even know. When you see this picture of Donna, like, you're going to flip, because she just looks like a freaking model.
It doesn't look
right
like
now.
real life.
No,
first of all,
look like a model.
It looks like I have an Instagram filter, the beauty filter on, where it puts like eyelashes on,
but
you,
not
lipstick.
the what is that called?
No,
not the bold glamour
the
filter.
good one, the good one, where it's like you put it on when you literally don't look good, so you put it on and you do. I put it on my story this morning,
so people can't tell you're having a filter. Okay, I got you. Yeah, she looks like that, which is amazing. And then I also got questions yesterday. Someone sent me a question and asked, what is the foundation that you used on me the other day, because I'm super acne prone. That's why I never wear makeup, and I always break out when I wear makeup. But when you did my makeup, I did not break out one time. And I answered this a little bit on my Instagram stories, but due to me being friends with dermatologists and estheticians in the area, I've really got educated on ingredient knowledge, which is important as a makeup artist. There's actually a skincare brand called Face Reality Skincare, and it's supposedly like designed specifically for acne clarity. So clearing up people with acneic skin, getting them completely clear and back to just healthy, glowing, smooth, texture-free skin. So they are specifically geared towards acne patients. And they actually have a list that when you are an esthetician and you're getting certified by them to be an acne specialist, they have a list of ingredients. It's about, I don't know, like 50 to 80 ingredients. The list is insane. But you are supposed to be able to go through your makeup products or your skincare products, and if any of them has any of these, the most 80 pore clogging ingredients, you need to stay away from those if you're acne prone. So a few estheticians, several have made graphics about like acne safe foundations. They've spent hours of their time sifting through these ingredients lists to make sure there are no pore clogging ingredients in them, and you have the least chance of having a breakout the day after wearing these foundations. And surprisingly, like the four foundations that I carry in my kit are all acne safe. So they do not contain those pore clogging ingredients. I would say to the girl that asked, what foundation did you use? You can find lower end foundations. You don't have to spend super a lot on foundation, as long as you go by that like acne safe list. So if you want to see the list yourself, or you want recommendations for acne safe foundations, bronzers, blushes, search the hashtag acne safe foundations or acne safe foundation on your Instagram, and you will see all the graphics pop up from all these estheticians who have spent hours and hours sifting through ingredient lists to tell you what the acne safe ingredients are, or what the acne safe products are. And there's whole lists of blushes, bronzers, everything. My favorites for, acne safe foundations would be the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear, the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation, the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation if you like very full coverage. And then lastly, my favorite is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. That one is super expensive, so I recommend buying the travel size and saving it for important date nights and events that you're having like photography done. But those are all for very acne safe foundations that you can use, and you have a very little risk of breaking out the next day.
Which we're also going to talk to her brother-in-law soon, hopefully this week, pending my cord for the microphone. And he can also answer some of that too for Botox, skin filler, things like that.
He's a cosmetic injector and owns a med spa, and it's just so knowledgeable.
Right. So he can also give some tips for that as well. Like, because that's the good thing about Olivia being a makeup artist. I think that she does have, people she can reach out to that do help educate her. Not that she's not already educated enough, but she also works hand in hand with the esthetician, dermatology. So she's good at that as well.
Thank you so much, John.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that is all the time we have for today.
We have had the best time with you. I hope you continue to tune in and see what we have for you next week. I'm so excited for our next guest.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying all this new equipment out, so if y'all hear some mess up stuff, like I'm recording this song on this now.
Be gentle with us.
All right, guys, until next time. Bye.
Bye.